Hello everyone, hope you're doing well today and thank you for tuning in. So as many of you already know, update 3.0.3 has dropped for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and this update has brought some various changes and improvements to the game. Now don't worry, I'm not just going to read the patch notes to you because that would be extremely boring and literally anyone can read the full patch notes on ubisoft.com. My goal here is always to entertain you as much as I can with each video, so I wanted to spend some time actually exploring the new changes in update 3.0.3 and testing them out so that I could go over what I liked and disliked about them. Now I will say that some of these changes were a little bit pointless and some of them I don't agree with at all, but I will go into more detail on those in a little bit. As always, if you enjoyed the video and you are new to my channel, consider subscribing for more entertaining videos on Breakpoint, Wildlands, and Black Ops Cold War. Let me begin by talking about what I consider to be the biggest change that came with the new update, and that is making Golem Island accessible to solo players. Now for me personally, I was actually a little bit disappointed when I explored the island simply because I've already done the raid a few times and I was expecting a little more from these new Golem Island missions. There's no story, no new characters, and the new missions are more like tasks that don't really reward you with anything cool. Each sector has the same tasks like destroying a behemoth or killing enemies within a certain camp via headshots, and the behemoths you need to destroy are just the same behemoths you find on RO's mainland. It would have been awesome if they added some brand new behemoths that gave you some unique loot, but it is what it is. Moving on, I think that this part of the update will really appeal to all the raid virgins in Breakpoint, so to speak. If you are someone who has never experienced the raid before, then you will probably really enjoy exploring the island just because there are lots of cool things to see there, like the active volcano and the thick fog in No Man's Land. On top of that, you can now obtain a few new weapon blueprints that I believe were previously only obtainable during the raid, such as the MK17 Shorty and MK Shorty variants. The next change I want to discuss is the ability to level up each class to level 20, and this was definitely one of the better changes made in this update if you ask me. The challenges you need to do in order to rank up each class from 10 to 20 are all unique, which I like, and some of them require you to visit Golem Island to complete. The rewards, on the other hand, had me a little bit disappointed because the weapons that each class gets at level 20 are just weapons that you could already get from the raid, and I think that the same goes for the new gear sets as well. The new world parameters are really nice, especially because you can finally choose to reduce the presence of drones. And these damn drones in Breakpoint have always been my least favorite part of the game, so being able to control how many I encounter in free roam is much appreciated. The item wheel is something that people have always criticized Breakpoint for, but I personally have always preferred it over the way you switched items in Ghost Recon Wildlands. My only complaint about the item wheel in Breakpoint was that it was way too small, but update 3.0.3 has finally fixed this by making it bigger. The only thing that would make the item wheel even better would be to add a separate item wheel for all your rations so that you don't have to keep going into your inventory and switching out your rations for other items. Being able to cook grenades is pretty cool, and I'm really enjoying the option to throw bullets to distract enemies. This does have me a little bit confused as to why they didn't just replace the diversion lure though, because it's not really needed anymore. Come to think of it, I have literally never used a diversion lure before, which brings us to the first change in this update that I completely disagree with. For some reason, update 3.0.3 increased enemy detection times and the time it takes for them to call for backup. Now I don't know about you, but I have always found Sentinel soldiers to be an absolute joke because they are literally the dumbest enemies in existence. The wolves can be challenging at times, but when I'm taking down a Sentinel camp, there's just zero challenge there, even on extreme difficulty. I have never felt the need to distract Sentinel before because they just stare at you for a few seconds before doing anything. The last thing I wanted to touch base on was the Darkest Night option, and I hate to say it, but I don't think that this changed anything that you couldn't already change by adjusting your brightness and contrast in the settings. And I was really excited about Darkest Night, and it was the first option that I changed when I booted up Breakpoint after the update, but when I began playing I noticed that nothing really looked different. This prompted me to adjust my brightness in the image calibration settings to make everything a bit darker, and for this reason I feel like the Darkest Night setting is a little bit pointless because you can basically replicate that setting just by adjusting your brightness and contrast levels. Now it could also be that I just have a bright monitor, so let me know if you notice a big difference or not. Regardless, when I adjusted some things to make everything darker, I had a lot of fun infiltrating camps in complete darkness. While we're on the topic of darkest night, I think it would have been better if they introduced some new night vision gear along with this change, like weapon-mounted infrared flashlights or different shades of night vision. Now, there was a lot more included in this update, but these were just the things that I personally wanted to talk about. All in all, I think this update was geared more towards newer players or those who haven't experienced the raid, which is cool. But for those of us who have been playing Breakpoint for quite a while, I don't think this update offered anything too exciting, but let me know if you agree or disagree with that statement by commenting down below. But that's about it for this video. I want to say a big thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I just want to remind everyone that I will be working on tons of Black Ops Cold War videos once it releases. I'm pretty sure that Cold War will become my new addiction, so it would be much appreciated if you tuned into all my Cold War content in the future. Until then, peace out homies.